Hello, Oregon School District. My name is Tom Eithun. I'm a captain here with the Oregon Fire Department, and typically we have you guys come down to the fire station for station tours. But unfortunately, with the state of emergency that we're in with the pandemic, we're not allowed to do that. So what I'm going to do is just kind of take you guys on a virtual tour of the fire station so you guys can all come with me. Welcome to our training room, kids. Well, one of the things I like to do is before we start our tour is talk a little bit about the importance of a smoke detector. Now, every home should have one of these, and they're very important because I like to call these our nose at night. If there's ever a fire in your house, the smoke detector is going to let you know because it's going to detect the smoke. You want to test your smoke detectors once a month and replace your batteries once a year. It's very important that you guys know what these smoke detectors sound like, because if there's ever a fire at night, this is what's going to wake you up. And sometimes it can be confusing because it also sounds like an alarm. We don't want you guys to not understand that this is your smoke detector going off and not your alarm getting ready for school. So make sure that your parents always make sure that they test these once a month so they can hear what they sound like. The next thing that I want to talk about is you guys can see that when we go to your house, if there is a fire in your house or an emergency, we can't wear the clothes that I have on now. This is my regular station uniform that I wear. One of the things that we have to wear is all my equipment or all my gear that I have here. I have my boots, and my pants are all put together. I put those on all at once. And then you can see I have my helmet here. My helmet is obviously used to protect my head. I have my face piece. My face piece works along with my air pack, and this is what allows me to go into a building that's filled with smoke because I bring all my fresh air in with me. Inside this bottle is about 45 minutes of air. And obviously, just like if we're working really hard, we're breathing heavier, then we're going to use up our air a little bit quicker. But otherwise, I got about 45 minutes of air inside this bottle, and that's how I can go inside of a house that's full of smoke. I also have my jacket here. You can see that on my jacket I have all sorts of reflectors, kind of like you guys have on your bikes. The reflectors are help so that when I'm standing on the side of the road, car lights hit my reflective jackets, they can see that I'm there. And also we have our names on the bottoms of our jackets, because obviously when everybody has their turnout gear on, it's hard to see who is who, so we have to have our names on there so we can tell who is on the scene with us. All right, so the next thing that I would like to do is go ahead and put my gear on for you guys. You guys can see what I look like. What'd you guys think? Did I put my gear on fast enough for you? Well, the next stop up here at the fire station is our exercise room. Now, staying healthy for firefighters is really important. It's such a physically demanding job that we want to make sure that all the firefighters are healthy. So this is our exercise room. We have a place in here where the firefighters can lift weights. We have we can do pull-ups, we can do sit-ups if we don't want to use the weights. My favorite piece of equipment is the treadmill. I love to run. Obviously having a nice strong heart is good for not only firefighters but for everybody. So make sure that you guys are exercising and stay healthy. All right, we're up on the third floor of the fire station now. One of the things that I'm always asked is where's the pole? Because all fire stations have to have poles. Well, here in Oregon, our building is 3 stories, so it's a really tall building. In order for us to have a pole, we'd have to have one from the ceiling all the way down to the first floor, and that sliding on that pole would create too much speed, so we had to have a hydraulic pole put in, and it wasn't very cost effective to put one of those in at the time of when the station was built. And going back to our exercise, they'd rather just have us get more exercise running up and down the stairs than sliding down the pole. So we're going to head into the 3rd floor and take a look at the living quarters of the fire station. All right, well, welcome to the day room, boys and girls. So this is where the firefighters can come, and you can see this is where we have our dinners, we have our lunches. Down here at the fire department, it's almost like a family. So we try to spend as much time sharing meals together as we can. Obviously, if we have fire calls or EMS calls, all that kind of gets put on hold, and we run right down to the fire, or we have to run down to the fire trucks and take off. But this is where the firefighters get to relax when they're off duty and watch TV and have some personal time. All right, kids, well, what did you guys think of the day room? Pretty nice place to go up and relax, right? So now this is probably the fun part of we're going to be looking at the ambulances. Here in Oregon, we have 2 ambulances. We have Rescue 69 and also Rescue 68. Now the reason why we have 2 ambulances here in Oregon is because over the years, the number of calls that we go on per day and per year keeps going up. So before we had 2 ambulances, the first ambulance would go out, and then if a second emergency would come in, we'd have to use our friends either in Brooklyn or McFarland or someplace else to go help take care of another patient here in Oregon. But because our call volume has gone up, we've gotten a second ambulance, so now we have 2. And I know what you guys are thinking, what if we have a third call? Well, our fire trucks are also set up with medical equipment that we can use to help people until a backup ambulance would help us arrive to the scene. So let's take a look at the back of these ambulances. Follow me. All right, well, welcome to the back of the ambulance. So in our ambulances, it's set up that we can have at least 1 patient back here, and the patient's going to be laying here on the cot. Our cot we are able to take our cot out, take it to the patient, pick the patient up, put him on the cot, and then bring it back in here to the ambulance. We have all of our medical equipment in here. We have our heart monitor right over here in the corner. We have oxygen ports because when some people get sick, just by giving them a little bit of oxygen might help. So we have oxygen ports up here. We also have them on the side here. And then some of the other stuff that we have that's really important is we have our radios. We can talk to the hospitals right here from the back of the ambulance, or if we need med flight to come down, we can talk to them right through our radios. Because of our pandemic and some of the things that we've had to do to protect ourselves is we've added a shower curtain to the ambulance, because if we do have someone that is sick with COVID-19, we can drop that shower curtain down. That's going to give us a little bit more protection from the disease. One of the things that's really basic in the ambulance that we use almost all the time on almost every patient is the clock. The clock can, believe it or not, tell us how sick somebody might be. So we use the clock to check people's pulse, how fast their heart is beating, and then also their respirations or how fast they're breathing. So if someone's breathing really, really fast or really, really slow, it can tell us how sick they are. Same thing with their heartbeat. If their heart is beating really fast or really slow, it'll tell us how sick that person is. And again, we get that from using the clock. So let's go take a look at the fire trucks. All right, boys and girls, what do you guys think of the ambulance? A lot of cool stuff back there, huh? Well, this is engine 2. Engine number 2 is our primary fire truck that we use. It has 750 gallons of water on the back of it, and this truck is built to put out a lot of fires, okay? So as you can see, some of the stuff that we have inside the fire truck is, remember the SCBA, or my breathing pack, my air pack that I had on earlier for you guys during when I was putting my gear on? We have them stored right behind the seat. So when the firefighter sits on the seat, they can very easily put their air pack on just like a backpack. You see we have our traffic lights right here, so when we're directing traffic, if there's a car accident, the firefighters can use those to direct traffic. And also, just like the ambulance, we have our radios back here that we can use. So if we have to contact someone to help, either other fire departments or we have to have a police officer out there for something, we can just call them on the radio to help. We have our big flashlights sitting here that the firefighters can use. And then also, like I said before with the ambulances, we have some of our medical equipment in here as well. We have a big bag in here that has all sorts of medical supplies in case we have a third emergency and the firefighters have to go out and help somebody until a neighboring ambulance can come help us with another emergency. So that's about it for the back of the fire truck. All right, so what do you guys think of the engine number 2? Well, I wanted to thank you guys personally for taking the time and watching this video. Obviously, during this pandemic, we have to change things up a bit, but we are very excited for next school year. Hopefully getting you guys down here for your station tour. We could do it in person. But again, thanks you guys for coming and watching this video. I really appreciate it. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, guys.